We continue with the most wonderful time of the year discussion on this morning's edition of Our Town here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. My name is Darren Swenson. Our Town, as always, brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. A lot of things going on this weekend, some related to holiday events, others related to other things. A little later on in the program, we will talk to Spring Grove football coach Kody Moore. Lions will play Mountain Iron Buell for the state title on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. You can hear it on KVIK with myself and Wade Grindy on the call. That will get going at 10 a.m. that morning. We'll get a preview of that game with Kody Moore. The Winneshiek County Historical Society is putting on a Dickens on Mill Street event this weekend. First time they've done something like this, and Stacy Gossling will join us to tell us about that event. Also, Chivonne Marlow will join us from Vesterheim. It's Vesterheim's Norwegian Christmas coming up this Saturday. Also, coming up all weekend long, the Magic of Christmas event put on by a circle of the St. Francis de Sales Catholic Church in Ossian. Clark Goltz will tell us all about that event. But a big weekend for many people this weekend, as it's the start of shotgun deer season in the state of Iowa. We will give you the reminders and everything you need to know as you head out this weekend. Troy Anderson with the Iowa DNR will be our first guest this morning. This is Our Town. It's brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust, and you're listening to it right here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Iowa's first shotgun deer season will start this weekend, and here to discuss all things related to deer hunting, Troy Anderson with the Iowa DNR. And Troy, as we have this conversation in the middle of the week, what are some reminders for folks wanting to go out this weekend of stuff they need to take care of before they go out?
Yeah, that's a great thing to bring up, and it's a good time to think about it before the season starts. Like you're saying, just around the corner is Iowa's most popular deer season with roughly 100,000 participants. So there's a few things to take care of. Make sure you have your hunting license and your habitat fee and, a valid tag for the season that you're going to hunt. Check out your blaze orange. It's required by Iowa law to wear a full 100% orange vest. Check out, make sure it's not faded and still fits, and more is better, especially after Thanksgiving. It might not fit quite right. So check that out. And then, just your regular safety concerns, know what you're shooting at, know what's behind the target, that sort of thing. And, the weather looks pretty good. Enjoy your time outdoors, be safe and have fun. Things to think about.
How is the deer population in our neck of the woods right now?
Yeah, we are holding steady, if not slightly increasing. So the outlook is pretty good as far as harvest is concerned. Our harvest is up slightly for the bow seasons and the other seasons that we've had. So I would expect that to continue. So.
And one thing that's been in the top of people's minds when it comes to deer hunting for quite some time now is chronic wasting disease. What are some of the efforts that the Iowa DNR needs to remind folks of related to that issue?
Yeah, so we're, that's always a concern with the deer health. So we are continuing to sample deer in the region. One place to check that out, you can actually see our quotas and how they are filling up on the Iowa DNR website. You can search CWD and get the links that way. But that'll show a daily updated quota. So if you want a sample, you want to give a sample, you want your deer tested in the region here, contact your local biologist. We also have 4 drop box locations. One at the Fish Hatchery in Decorah in Winneshiek County. We have a freezer at Harper's Ferry State Boat Ramp in Almaquee County. We have one at the Gilbertson Nature Center in Fayette County, and one at the Osborne Nature Center in Elkader. And as those quotas fill up, we'll kind of stop collecting samples through the DNR, but you can also submit one through a hunter's submission, and we'll help you with that too. That one does cost $25 from the Iowa State Vet Lab. So
the specific issue of chronic wasting disease, I know the DNR has done its best to help mitigate any potential issues with that. How are those efforts going? Is the situation getting better or worse? Are you doing the best you can to manage it?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's not an easily controlled disease. So, basically slowing the spread is the main concern. Also kind of understanding where it's at and how it's spreading. So that's where our sampling effort comes in. The spread is fairly slow. But we do have some hot spots in these counties that are popping up with CWD. One of the things we've added here the last few years is a January antlerless season. So as long as there is, quota left in the antlerless tags for these counties, there would be a January antlerless season to help maintain that population or slightly decrease population with the antlerless harvest. So,
and let's get the calendars clarified. I know a lot of people, most people know the seasons, but it's probably a good thing to remind people, when will the first season begin and end? When will the second season begin and end? And if there's the possibility of that January antlerless season, when will that be?
Yeah, so the Shotgun 1 season starts December 3rd, and runs through the 7th. And so the Shotgun 2 season will start December 7th or December 10th and run through the December 18th. And the January antlerless season will start after the late muzzleloader season, which would start on January 11th. So.
And another thing hunters can keep in mind this weekend is the Iowa Deer Exchange. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I think it's like the third year of the Iowa Deer Exchange. And since we've ran out of some of the hush lockers that we used to have, it's a way that you can donate deer if you're going out and harvesting some extra antlerless deer. So go to our website, check out the Iowa Deer Exchange program if you want to donate some venison, or if you're looking for some venison, for the holidays or whatever. So yeah, it's just a good way to get hunters and folks that are looking for some meat together and get that done. So
anything else folks need to be reminded of? Anything we're missing?
Oh, we covered a lot. I always say, be safe, wear plenty of orange, talk to your neighbors or talk to the landowners you're planning on hunting. Obviously know what you're shooting at and what's behind what you're shooting at, but most of all, be safe and have fun. Enjoy the time you spend outdoors with friends and family, because that's the main point. So.
All right, Troy, we appreciate you taking some time to talk about the start of shotgun deer season this weekend. Here's to a successful seasons over the next couple of weeks, and a safe seasons over the next couple of weeks as well. As always, we appreciate your time.
Thanks, Aaron.
Troy Anderson with the Iowa DNR. Shotgun deer season begins in Iowa this Saturday. It is the most wonderful time of the year, and the wonderfulness will spread its way to Ossian this weekend for the 2022 Magic of Christmas. And here to discuss that event is Mr. Clark Goltz. Clark, good to see you again. Long time no speak. My fault, not yours.
Yeah, well, thank you, Darren. But also, I want to check, because I am an educator, if wonderfulness is a word. But we'll let it go this time.
Well, I got a bunch of points on it in a Scrabble game one time, and I don't know if nobody challenged it at the very least.
Okay, we'll let it go with that. But you're right. We have the Magic of Christmas coming up here in the big city of Ossian.
Tell us about the event coming up this weekend, a multi-day, multifaceted event.
That is for sure, Darren. It's going to be a 3-day event at Silver Springs Golf and Country Club in Ossian. They're on the south side, and it's on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And there's lots of things going on. I'll just give you just an example of Friday. Friday night is it's a gala that we have, and it's hors d'oeuvre buffet is from 6 to 8 p.m. And at the same time, you can check out, we have over 24 decorated trees, half a dozen tables, collections, and for some people, the big thing on Friday night is wine tasting. So that's Friday night.
And what's coming up on Saturday?
Saturday is again a new, I guess it's a continued event that we've had before. We have what are called the home tours. And this year we have 5 different home tours across different parts of the cities around Ossian. And the home tours on Saturday are from 10 to 4:30. Then what you can do is you can start a home tour, come to the luncheon, which is from 10 to 11 to 2, and then go out and check out the rest of the homes in the afternoon. So Saturday is a luncheon, again, see the tables, the trees, the collections, and then go on home tours.
And that luncheon is at Silver Springs as well?
Always, most of the events, in fact, all the events except for the home tours are held at Silver Springs, yes. And that luncheon is from 11 to 2. You can just come to the doors and pay for your luncheon, and it's, homemade soups and salads and desserts and all the things people love at Christmas time.
And if that wasn't fun enough, the fun continues on Sunday.
It does. On Sunday, we have what's called Coffee and Rolls Among the Trees. That's Sunday morning, and they're homemade cinnamon rolls from one of our local bakers, Carol Wilchin. And then we also, again, can see tables, trees, and all that kind of thing. And the home tours continue from 10 o'clock until 3 p.m. on Sunday afternoon.
Those wanting to partake in all of the events, how can they get tickets in advance?
Well, you can get them at several businesses in Ossian. Blooms on Main, Fidelity Bank, or the Luena Savings Bank are probably the most logical places to go. And you can also get them from Circle members if you know a bunch of people in Ossian. I want to mention a little bit something about the home tours. We have 5 unique home tours this year. There's one in Kelmar. It's the Dion Sawyer Isaac Packneck Historical Home in Kelmar. It's a 3-story brick home that's been renovated. They're actually the people who run Decorah Greenhouse. Another home is in the city of Decorah. We have one of our friends there, Nicole Buchheit, is opening up her condo there. And then we have 3 homes in West Union, each of them as unique as the rest. One is Audrey Gibbs' Extreme Makeover Home. For the first time, she's opening that up. The second one is the home of Marie and Virgil Monroe. They have a historical home in West Union. And then finally, Kim Stendal, one of our contributors, also has a house ready that she's just renovated. So we've got very unique homes that you can see as well.
How long has this event been going? I know it's kind of been an annual tradition in Ossian. How long has it been going?
We're heading on, I think, heading towards 20 years now. It's gone
Nice.
well. Yeah. Can I tell you a couple more things we have going on in Ossian too, please?
You certainly can.
Well,
I won't even make you say please.
I knew you'd let me do that. I knew it. Well, on Saturday, we, of course, have the visit with Santa. Santa and Mrs. Claus are going to be at the Wildwoods Event Center in downtown Ossian. And you can take pictures with Santa and Mrs. Claus. You can get a treat bag from Santa, and that's from 11 to 1 on Saturday at the Wildwoods Event Center. Also going on at the Wildwood Event Center that day, there's a cookie walk from the St. Teresa of Calcutta School, and the Ossian Boy Scouts are also doing sandwiches, soups, and beverages down there too, again, over the noon hours. So lots going on in the big city of Ossian in the weekend of December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
So in other words, if you can't find something fun to do this weekend in Ossian, it's your own fault, right? That's
right, and you are a very dull person. So let's not be a Grinch. Let's get out and let's enjoy the 2022 Magic of Christmas, sponsored by St. Francis de Sales Church, Circle number 8.
Anything else we're missing? Anything else you want to pass along? Or I'll give you a chance to give you one more 30-second or a time of your choice radio commercial for the Magic of Christmas this weekend.
I will just tell you it's on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, December 2nd through 4th at the Silver Springs Golf and Country Club. And there is a mailbox for letters to Santa outside of City Hall. And if you put your name and your address on there, Santa writes back. It's a direct line to the North Pole. Just an idea for you, Darren, in case you want something from Santa. Okay?
I think I'm on the naughty list. Does
I know
that
you
disqualify me?
We won't get into that on public radio.
All right, Clark, we thank you for taking the time and telling us about the annual Ossian tradition, the magic of Christmas coming up this weekend. Best of luck with the event, and have fun, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to you as well. Have a great day.
Clark Goltz, Magic of Christmas, coming up this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Ossian. The most wonderful time of the year continuing this weekend as we continue quite a few holiday celebration. Vesterheim Christmas, the Norwegian Christmas celebration coming up this Saturday. Chivonne Marlow is with us from Vesterheim, and a lot of fun activities planned for Saturday. Just kind of a little bit of a continuance, I should say, of the holiday season in the Decorah area. Is that a fair way to put it?
That is a fair way to put it. Vesterheim has, in addition to everything going on in the community this weekend, Vesterheim has its Norwegian Christmas celebration, which is going to have a lot of things for everybody, I would say.
And run down some of the things that will be going on Saturday. What can the folks partake in?
Well, of course, one of the biggest things we have is lots of music. The musical schedule kind of runs like, starts with Northern Lights at 10:30 in Bethania Church, and then Decorah Chorale follows them at 11. And then at 11:30, the Decorah High School Madrigal Singers. Those will all be in Bethania Church, as will the Lurin Singers at 1. And then Vidar Skrede, who people would know from the Dalacopa concert that was held outside in October, I believe. He will play at 3. Inside the museum, we're going to have music in the ship gallery as well, with a touch of brass trumpet band playing in the ship gallery, as well as Eden Aim will be our wandering Christmas gnome with her Hardanger fiddle.
And a musical lineup like that, usually for that type of quality, people would be willing to pay big money, but it's pretty cost effective this weekend.
It is. The musical performances in Bethania Church are free. Admission to the into the museum for children and Luther students is free through ages 18. And then for adults, there is regular admission cost unless you are a member of the museum. Inside the museum, though, we're going to have more excitement. We'll have demonstrators, we'll have people carving, we'll have knitters, we'll have wheat weavers, we'll have Hardanger the Hardanger embroidery, and then we'll also have some crafts for kids. We'll have the little Yule Nissa, or the little Nissa dolls. We'll have some paper cutting activities that go with the papier clip exhibit up on the second floor. We'll have paper dolls that will go with the doll exhibit on the first floor. And then some of the other usual things that we do, the little Yule necks, the wheat that they can hang on the tree, and snowflakes, and then some cutout mittens and sweaters. In the heritage...
Go ahead. Go ahead. You're right. On a roll. Why am I stopping you?
In the Heritage Park, which was new in 2021, had been revamped, we will have hot chocolate and some other things, including Scandinavian s'mores, which are made with ginger snaps instead of graham crackers. We'll have live goats during the day. We'll have the Nordic dancers from Decorah will be selling cookie plates and rummagrot. And we'll also have the Borlaug Foundation will be selling Yuleneks, the sheaves of wheat that are meant to feed birds and bring good luck to the holiday season.
And of course, Norwegian Christmas at Vesterheim, a great way to continue your holiday shopping with the museum store, the Oneota Weavers Guild, other things going on. You can pick up that special gift that you can't really get anywhere else, I'd imagine.
And I should mention, as well as the Oneota Weavers Guild and the wonderful museum store, some of the demonstrators will have items to sell as well. There'll be some carving, some knitting, probably some wheat weaving as well. So make sure you continue your Christmas shopping in the museum. One extra special thing for kids will be a visit from the Yulenissa, who is going to partake in the Christmas tree in the Yule Tree Fest, which will be in the by the mill on the patio outdoors. They will be the Yulenissa will be there at 11:30 in the morning, and then again at 1 o'clock. And kids can come to either of those Yule Tree Fests and receive a little gift from the Yulenissa.
And of course, a lot of these events being made possible by some generous donors, from what I understand. Is that correct?
That is correct. Barbara and Dale Henning and an anonymous donor, and then also just all the people that donate to Vesterheim's annual fund. We are so grateful to all of them for allowing us to have this wonderful programming.
And year in and year out, it's a very fun and exciting event. Always good things going on at Vesterheim. What about the update on your new building? Anyone who's driven through that type of side of town has noticed the progress over the last few months. Where's the museum new building? Where is that project at?
Oh, that project changes every day. There's progress made constantly. As some people noticed, we had the street blocked off for a little bit last week, and that was to help put in some concrete in front of the new building. We've got windows in now. We expect it to be done sometime, late first quarter of next year, and we're really excited to be able to use that building for different programming, for class space, for all sorts of things.
Anything else you want to pass on about Norwegian Christmas coming up this weekend, or anything else that'll be happening here in the not too distant future at Vesterheim?
We're always happy to see people at Vesterheim, and come to Norwegian Christmas. I think there's probably something there for everybody.
And with all the events that you ran down, if you can't find something to tickle your fancy, you're probably a boring person, I'm guessing.
I think we can find something.
You bet. We appreciate you taking some time to tell us about it this weekend, Norwegian Christmas, taking place from 10 until 4 on Saturday. Chivonne joining us. Thanks for joining us, and you and your family have a Merry Christmas and a blessed holiday season.
Thank you, Darren. You too.
Chivonne Marlow from Vesterheim Norwegian Christmas coming up this Saturday. Coming up this Saturday, Dickens on Mill Street, a new event from the Winneshiek County Historical Society. And here to discuss the event is Stacy Gossling. And Stacy, it's the first event of this kind that your organization has put on. How'd you come up with the idea for this?
I guess we have seen it in other states, actually. There's one they do in Galveston, Texas, and there's another one very similar to this that they do in Skaneateles, New York. And me and another board member had seen this in these other two places, and we're like, why can't we do that? You know, Winneshiek County had a very large English colony settlement that was here very early, like in the mid 1850s, that, you know, they were some of the first ones in town. And with them, they brought a lot of money with them, built a lot of the fancy homes in the historic district and the buildings downtown. And they're just sort of a lost group that people don't really have a lot of information on. So we thought, well, why not try this?
And tell us what this event will all entail. What can you do if you attend this event?
So, of course, we will have visits with Mother Christmas, as the English would say, or Mrs. Claus for children. We will have about 14 live Dickens characters walking around either outside or inside the house. We will have carolers. We will have English treats inside the house, so people are more than welcome to come in. And inside we will have displays on early English settlers in Winneshiek County. We will also have a brass quartet playing music on and off. Then we also have, with Dotson Rod carriages, we will have, for a small fee, horse-drawn carriage rides. And we also have a photo op that people can do for a small fee with a sleigh, like if they need a picture for their Christmas card or something. And we will also have an interactive thing for the children. We want each one of the Dickens characters will be carrying a card that tells about their character. So we want the kids to go and interact with the character. Then they will get this card. And then at the end, when they have gotten all of the cards, then they come back into the house and they can have, we will give them a treat bag.
Seemingly, you got quite a few people involved in this thing based on what you just said.
Yes, yes.
And how many overall people are helping you out to make this event a reality?
Oh, so many. Jessica Rilling with the Chamber, and Alyssa Ritter. They have been instrumental in helping us with the advertising and helped us come up with the logo. You know, we had an idea in our head, but didn't know how to quite exactly do it. The other board members for the Historical Society, and a lot of people just from the general public that were like, yeah, that sounds like fun, let's try it. So,
and when will this take place, and where exactly will this take place?
Okay, it's this Saturday, December 3rd, from 1 to 4. It's at our office, our house. We were given the house 4 or 5 years ago by a family that had lived in the house for 4 generations, and they didn't feel right selling the house, you know, and have another family live there. So, and it just so happened we were looking for a place for the Historical Society at the time. So we graciously accepted the house. And as it turns out, the couple that gave it to us, the gentleman's mother was very active up at Luther in their drama department. So the family's very excited because they said that Helen Bodensteiner would have loved something like this occurring in her house. So it'll be in the house, outside on the sidewalks, out front on Broadway, just sort of that whole area.
And the most interesting thing about this, obviously, when it comes to heritage and ancestry, Decorah is often connected to Norwegian with good reasons, but the early English settlers in Winneshiek County, that's something until you brought it up, I wasn't aware of, and I like to think I keep track of things pretty well in the Decorah area. But can you expand on that a little bit more, knowing the fact that from what you're saying, they were one of the first to be in this area? Is that correct?
They really were. There was a large group of, you know, English people that decided to come here to be, as they called themselves, hobby farmers. But then after spending a few years realizing how hard the work was, how harsh the winters were, some of them did stay, but a lot of them left and actually went back to England. But when they left, you know, the houses up in the historic district, the buildings downtown, so the family that built our house, the front part of our house is actually pre-Civil War. It was built 1860. They came from Western New York. And they had a dry goods business that was actually in one side of what is Rubaiyat now. So they came out here, you know, built these homes, built all these buildings downtown. And then, like I said, some of them left, some of them didn't. And it was estimated, an article that one of the English colony guys that had stayed here, he estimated that it was like $1.5 million that the English brought with them. And that wasn't even including all of their homes. And that was about, he was saying it was probably around 1870, 1880. And when you put that in one of those calculators that ads for all the inflation rate and stuff, that would be as if someone came to Decorah today and dropped 43 million plus
Wow.
in our town. So yeah, so they did have a big influence on Winneshiek County history, and it's really sort of kind of forgotten about, not to take anything away from the other activities that go on at the Vesterheim this weekend, but we just thought we could add to it and say, hey, there's another part of Winneshiek County history.
Anything we're missing about the event coming up on Saturday, or anything else that you want to pass along from the perspective of the Winneshiek County Historical Society?
No, just that, we would love for anybody and everybody to come out and just swing through and see what we're all about. We get a lot of people asking about the house. We've done a lot of work on the inside and the outside of the house. We want people to come in and see what we've done, because, we get people in every day that are dropping items off to donate, or looking for history. We get a lot of people that come in that want to know the history of their house, or if we have any old photos of their houses, which is great. And sometimes we're like, oh yeah, we know exactly where that is. Other times it takes a little bit of research, but the Historical Society is completely run with volunteers. Every single person is a volunteer. So we all volunteer our time doing research, whether it's on somebody's house or they're building downtown, or helping somebody break through a brick wall in their genealogy, because we do have ancestry.com that people can come in and use to do research on their family histories. And we have quite a few family histories that have been donated to us. But all of those things require a place to be heated and temperature controlled and have a dry roof over your head. So it all requires money.
All right, Stacy, we appreciate you telling us about the event coming up this Saturday. Thank you for your work on that and all your work with the Winneshiek County Historical Society. And most importantly, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your family.
Yes, and the same to you.
Stacy Gossling from the Winneshiek County Historical Society. Dickens on Mill Street coming up Saturday from 1 until 4. Getting set for the Prep Bowl this week, it'll be Spring Grove against Mountain Iron Buell in the 9-man title game on Saturday morning, previewing it with Spring Grove head coach Kody Moore, and obviously something new for everybody this year. 2 weeks between the semifinals and the Prep Bowl. It'll be 16 days between games for your squad. How have you managed that from a practice and preparation standpoint?
Well, I think the 2 weeks will actually benefit us quite a bit. We had some guys that were fairly nicked up after the semifinal game. And we also just kind of had some of that, this time of year sickness type stuff, cold flu type stuff going through. So we're kind of coming over the hump of that and on the downward slide. So getting guys back healthy and all that. So kind of our main focus has been just getting fresh and healthy, focusing on film, more so like the X and O prep type of work. We were able to actually go down to Luther College last Friday. So we spent our Black Friday mid-morning. We went down there and practiced at their brand new indoor facility. They redid the indoor SRC. And so we were able to go down there and kind of just freshen things up a little bit from being just in our little gym here in Spring Grove. So that was kind of a nice mix up. We got out on the turf a little bit down there too. And we've just been, like I said, focusing on being fresh, being healthy, and just making sure that our guys are ready to play their best game of the year on the biggest stage here on Saturday.
So when you get to this week after being off from game competition last week, is this week kind of a normal week of preparation, if there can be one, getting ready for a state championship game?
Yes, definitely. We try to treat it just like our normal game weeks that we've had for 13 games throughout the year. So we came in yesterday, and just like any typical Monday, we broke down even more film. And we did actually get outside and do a little bit yesterday as well. So that was nice, but we're trying to treat it as normal as possible. I think our guys, if I had to put a finger on what their mentality is, they're very businesslike right now. I think the fact that they got that semifinal game under their belt in that setting, That'll be a big help for us in just being used to that environment. And I think we'll be ready to hit the ground running come start of the game there Saturday.
What were the main takeaways you took away from that semifinal victory a couple of weeks ago? What were the positives? What were maybe some things that you're looking to improve on once you hit the field Saturday?
Well, the biggest positive was the fact that we were down a little bit to start the game, and we had to fight back in. We were down 6-0 there early, and it didn't take long. In a minute and a half, we came back and scored, but it was just great to see how our guys responded to that against a very good opponent, obviously a great opponent in Fertile Beltrami. So that was my biggest takeaway, and the most exciting thing I should say about that game is the way we bounced back from that adversity of starting slow. And then it was just a little bit of a grinder throughout the game. Our defense held strong throughout, other than that very first drive. Our defense was lights out, as they have been. And they really kept us in the game. Tyson's punt return was big as well, obviously, and kind of swinging that momentum in our favor. But I liked the way that we performed in a tight game. We haven't been in a lot of those, obviously. And so it was good for us to be in that type of game, that, closer, tight type of game. And I was pleased with the way we performed. And then to be able to open it up in the fourth quarter, I thought it looked like we were the team that was in better shape. I thought we wore on them at the end of the game. Our run game got going. So those were all good things. I think if I had to put my finger on one thing that we need to work on, it's finishing drives at times, taking care of the ball and finishing drives. And so we've talked about that. And, I think our guys they'll get that fixed, and, we'll be ready to go.
And you just touched on the red zone efficiency. Obviously, you want to be a little bit more efficient than you were against Fertile Beltrami. How do you go about that? Is there anything that you specifically can do in practice regarding improving that? Or is it something that you just have to discuss and bring it up that way?
Well, I think it's a combination of both, Darren. It's one of those things you talk about it, you discuss it. It is a mindset down there, and understanding that it's about beating your guy off the ball, blowing guys back. And when we do that, then we're able to pound the ball into the end zone. And that's what we want to be able to do. We also look at, we have a few different sets we'll have ready for those situations too. Having 2 weeks to prepare, it allows you to put some different stuff in terms of, what you do down there in those short yardage situations. So we'll have some stuff ready if needed. I think it'll help us down in those areas where it's been one of those things. We do a good job moving the ball for the most part, 20-20 all the time. It's when that field shrinks, trying to figure out what we can get into, and a mindset along with some different stuff we'll look at doing. I think we'll be able to get the job done that way.
Getting back to the 2 weeks in between games, you just touched on the possibility of putting in some new sets. Where's that balance between maybe putting something out there that hasn't been on film, knowing the fact that it could give you an advantage in certain situation, but at the same time relying on the stuff that got you to this point?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta hang your hat on what's worked all year long, and that's what we're gonna do. We've preached balance, and so you don't want to throw too much stuff at them. It's just kind of a couple tweaks here and there. It's nothing major, because we trust what we've done. We've had success doing what we've done, and it's a matter of just executing that stuff that has worked with a few wrinkles in there. I think that's a good combination and a good way to go about it.
What impresses you the most about Mountain Iron Buell?
Well, what's funny about them is they run a lot of our sets and our type of stuff. They're a very, very good team, obviously. They came down in 2016 and scouted us because they wanted to see what we were doing for a spread. And you can see that since then, they've kind of emulated some of the sets and that type of stuff that we do. Their quarterback is a great runner. He can throw it too, but what they try to do is spread you out and then have their quarterback run the ball against a lighter box. And they do a really nice job of just executing up front, and some of the stuff they do in terms of their linemen pulling and doing different types of things. They really get off the ball well on both sides of the ball. So it should be a really fun game with two high power offenses against really good defenses. And I'm just really excited for the opportunity, and our guys they're bouncing off the walls to play again. So
And defensively, you touched on the fact that they get off the ball pretty well up front. They pitched a shutout in the second half of their semifinal game. What impresses you the most about them on that side of the ball?
Well, you can just see they all have high motors. They get after it, and they really seem to rely on getting off on the snap. So I think we're going to have to try to, as much as we can, try to mix up snap count a little bit, and do some different things to take advantage of their aggressiveness on the D line. There isn't a weak spot in their defense, that's for sure. And when you're playing a state championship game, that's what's expected. I do think, as always, I always like our matchups on the outside and what we can do there. I think, we just have dynamic playmakers with good size out there that I'm hoping we can take advantage of. And, it's all going to come down to the old cliche of the battle in the trenches, because defensively, if we're able to get penetration and blow up their mesh points with the spread that they want to do, that's going to make it awful tough on them. And then offensively, if we're able to win that battle and are able to run the ball like we can, along with what we can do through the air, I think we'll have a good shot to go out. And I've been telling the guys, let's go out and put a ring on the finger. That's kind of been the goal all year long. And that's what we're looking to do. And
you adjusted to it pretty well, playing in the 70-degree comfort of indoors as compared to the 19-degree wind chill that you had in the quarterfinals. What are you doing this week to prepare them once again for that environment of playing indoors come Saturday?
Well, again, that was the nice part, about going down to Luther last Friday, just have that bigger open space. And we try to tell the guys to layer up. So that they get used to that heat, because you can only turn the heat up in a gym so much. So it's kind of on the guys to make sure they're layered up like they need to be to get used to that environment. So we've been really trying to push that. And also, the importance of staying hydrated. We're trying to really push that. And, I see these guys throughout the day in school, and, we're always doing water bottle checks to make sure that they're doing what they need to do to make sure they're hydrated and as prepared as we can be for a great Mountain Iron Buell team. So,
all right, Coach, it's been a fabulous season to this point, and hopefully you can put that ring on the finger come Saturday. Keep your guys healthy. We wish you best of luck. It's fun to be talking football this time of year.
Right on, Darren. Can't thank you enough for all your coverage. We love it. All our fans love it. I know that. So thank you very much for what you do.
Kody Moore, head coach of the Spring Grove Lions Prep Bowl against Mountain Iron Buell coming up this Saturday. A thank you to our guest on the program this morning, Troy Anderson with the Iowa DNR, talking about the beginning of shotgun deer season in the state of Iowa this weekend. Clark Goltz, Magic for Christmas, taking place all weekend long in Ossian. Many of the events taking place at the Silver Springs Golf Club in Ossian this weekend. Chivonne Marlow with Vesterheim. It's Vesterheim's Norwegian Christmas coming up this weekend, Saturday from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. at Vesterheim. Also, Stacy Gossling from the Winneshiek County Historical Society, Saturday from 1 until 4 at the Historical Society House at 302 South Mill Street. It is the Dickens on Mill Street event. First time they've tried something like this, and sounds like a fun event to go to. So bottom line, if you're bored this weekend, it's your own darn fault here in the tri-state area. And, of course, we want to thank Kody Moore, the head coach of the Spring Grove Lions. Lions will play for a state football title in Minnesota this Saturday. They will take on Mountain Iron Buell at 10 a.m. Wade Grindy and I will have the call on 104.7 KVIK. Don't forget, each and every week we put these shows on YouTube. If you're out gallivanting on YouTube for any reason, just go to 12-1 Our Town program. You can find it that way. We realize you can't always be near a radio or a streaming device at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning, but we feel we get to talk about interesting events and we get to talk to interesting people. And we want to bring that content to you on your schedule. So go to Our Town, 12-1 Our Town program. That's the way to search it if you're out on YouTube. We also put up the links on all of our LA Communications Facebook pages as well. Thanks to our guest. Thanks to our sponsor, Decorah Bank and Trust. Oh, by the way, don't forget Decorah Lighted holiday parade tonight, 6 o'clock, going through the downtown area. We talked about that last week with Jessica Rilling from the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce. Don't forget that and walk on. We'll have a big Thursday night event coming up next week. We'll try to remind you of those things as well as the holiday season continues. All sorts of fun, all sorts of entertainment, all sorts of goodies, all sorts of ways to support the local economy, which is so key to do in this holiday season. Our thanks to our guest on the program, our thanks to our sponsor, Decorah Bank and Trust, and most importantly, we thank you for tuning in, for logging on, or for watching Our Town on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.